Microwave transmission. Now you might be using microwave at your home. You will be, boiling water, and that is just that the waves that will give energy to the molecules of water, and that is how it heats up. So microwave transmission above the 100 megahertz, the electromagnetic waves, they travel in straight lines, almost straight lines. And since they can travel in straight lines, there is a possibility so that we can narrowly focus them as a beam, you can say. So these waves, they travel in a straight line. Now, as I said, whenever the frequency is higher, it is more likely that they can travel in the straight lines. And we can concentrate all the energy into small beam by means of this parabolic antenna. You might be having an antenna at your house, the parabolic antenna. So what it does, that all the waves, they can be, because at the center point there is a receptor. So there is a focus, and that receptor will give you the signal. So these can be easily focused, and this small beam, this energy can be concentrated. For example, the satellite TV dish, and this gives a very high signal to noise ratio. That is a good signal. Signal to noise ratio is normally we talk it in terms of decibel. We call it as SNR. This is nothing but the signal to noise ratio, and we represent it in decibels. 10 log 10, the base is 10. So this is how the signal and noise ratio is defined. But you get a very good signal to noise ratio. But the thing is, the transmission and the receiver, the antennas have to be very accurately aligned. This can be done once, but still you have to align it. Because as I said, they travel in straight line and they are narrowly focused. So microwaves, for this reason, they are directional. That is, they travel in straight line. So you need the repeaters at certain distances, periodically. Every 50 kilometers normally, we require the energy boosters. Repeaters are the signals will attenuate, and you have to increase the energy, boost it. So in microwaves, you will be learning about or hearing about Ka, Ku, K. These are just parts of the band. And they are L, S, C, X, Q, Ku, K, Ka, like this. So the distance between the repeaters, how they are related, this is related, that is the square root of tower height. That is, higher the tower, you need the repeater at a long distance. So distance between the repeaters are energy boosters, because there will be attenuation. So normally at 50 kilometers we give, but this is not just 50 kilometers a number. This distance between the repeaters has a relationship with the square root of the tower height. This you need to understand. Okay, I'll give an example. For example, you have a 100-meter tower. Can you imagine? Can you have a 100-meter tower? Yes, you can have. But normally it is not possible. You can have 20 meters, 30 meters, or even 40 meters. But 100 meters, Usain Bolt, he is running 100 meters. You can see the distance he runs in less than 10 seconds. So this is the repeater. Now repeaters can be 80 kilometers apart, but normally we don't have this much. So we have 40-50 kilometers of repeater. So microwaves, they do not pass through buildings well. Why? You know very well, the frequency is higher, the wavelength will be less, and this is the situation. But one more scenario arises here. We have talked about that the microwave transmission or the waves, they are having high frequency, so they can be focused. But still, there is atmosphere. There are certain things going on. There will be still some divergence in the free space. Divergence means it will change the path because of various reasons. For example, you see here, there is Earth lower atmosphere, and you know all the weather activity, various activities are happening here. You have droplets, you have different kinds of scattering going on, diffraction going on. So some waves, they can be refracted off by the low-lying atmospheric layers, and they may take a slightly long to arrive. Some may come directly, some may be refracted by the Earth atmosphere, and some may come from the ground. So those which are in the phase, that is okay. But those which are arriving out of phase, and you know that there will be destructive interference. So these signals will cancel out. And this scenario, this is called as multipath fading. This is the only thing which we called as multipath fading. And as I said, the weather is the important factor. So it is dependent on the weather, and it is dependent on the frequencies also. Higher frequency will create higher multipath fading. So what will happen? What the operators do? Because they are being assigned a particular frequency range by the government. So they keep 10% of their channel as idle, as a spare. because when this multipath fading will happen, it may wipe out a particular frequency band. So these 10% part that they have kept for this use, they will use it. And since we know, because the data rates people want higher, that is why this force or this requirement is driving wireless network operators for more higher frequencies. But here the scenario changes, because at around 4 gigahertz is a very high frequency. The water is the key, because their rain absorption take place. The electromagnetic waves will be absorbed by water here. So the solution is what? The only thing is that with that particular band, if they are absorbed by rain, we can take another route, or you can have multiple links and they may be used. This is the only solution. Otherwise, people who are listening, like you guys, you must come with certain solution of that. So we have certain advantages over fiber of microwave transmission. There are certain, first of all, you don't, because laying of cable is really a task. In microwave transmission, you don't want to do it, or you wouldn't do it. Microwave is somewhat relatively inexpensive. Once you establish it, it will be done.